And what you're going to learn about is all over the internet. Nobody's ever done a video on it, though. The Royal House of Saudi Arabia, because it's the Royal House of the Sauds, they called it Saudi Arabia, it claimed to be Jewish. So the entire Muslim world is being led by Jews. The Wahhabis, the Wahhabs, which run Qatar, claim to be Jewish. So the entire Muslim world is being led by people who claim to be Jewish. Now that in and of itself should shock you. Kazakhstan Empire, which was this region, Caspian Sea, Black Sea, Turkey, this is Europe. Kazakhstan Empire extended throughout this entire region, especially in Kiev. So that was Kazakhstan. In 851, the Kazakhstan Empire lasted from 350 to 1048, and then it shifted, but that's okay. The Maslik clan in 851, now we'll go down here, wandered into Riyadh. And they took Riyadh, they were thrown out, they took refuge in the farms, and not reading the Quran and not reading the Old Testament, they read the books produced here in Jerusalem about how, well, I'll give you an example. Rabbi Obadiah Yosef said, Gentiles were born only to serve. They are only born to serve those of Israel. So they just conquered and destroyed. The people, the farm he took refuge in, he killed them. And then the Saudi Arabian family killed all the farmers. And then they met the Wahhabs, which was another group. They took Riyadh again, and they declared this as the Saudi Arabia. And they ruled Saudi Arabia in clans. Now let's fast forward to modern times, because we now know that the Saudi Arabians were these people. They were being pushed by the Russian Orthodox Church and the Muslims, and they said, no, we're Jewish, we're Jewish. Yeah, well, they don't read the Quran and they don't read the Old Testament, so they can't be nothing. But anyway, in 1914, this was the Ottoman Empire, extended down here. And the Royal House of Saud swore loyalty to the Ottoman Empire and received weapons, and they received guns. And a year later, the English came by with more weapons and more guns, and guess what? They re-swore loyalty to the British. In 1932, Standard Oil, which had the maps for all of the oil all around the world, they knew where the oil was. They started digging in Saudi Arabia. In 1939, the first oil well opened, and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds started supporting the Saudi Arabians. In 1944, Aramco. We get the oil into the United States Corporation. We sell the oil to Mobil, and then we buy weapons for Saudi Arabia. So they have to kill and destroy. Right now they're bombing Yemen and Oman on their southern border, Queen of Sheba's great empire, to steal their oil. When the dollar resets, the dollar stopped to Saudi Arabia, and we need to pray for the royal Saudi family, which is one of the most evil, nasty people that walk into a business and kill the owners and take the owners. They make Al Capone look like a piker. And you, the American taxpayer and the English taxpayer, support the Saudi family. This is why we need to pray for them. They are the most evil family on the planet. And in Qatar, we'll look back at the map here. In Saudi Arabia, Prince Abalde Atabi got caught importing 5,000 pounds of bacon into Saudi Arabia. Here in Qatar, you can now buy pork. In Israel, you can now buy pork. And the other thing is, the Quran prohibits having kings. If the king of Saudi Arabia was a Muslim, why would he be a king? That makes no sense. They don't follow the Quran. They claim to be Jews, but they're Jews from here, not Jews from here. And the Jews here in Israel, they don't read the Old Testament. They don't read the Quran. They're importing pork now. You can buy pork all over this region, which is supposed to be Muslim. When they open up their oil wells in a few months, we're not going to need Saudi Arabian oil. The money will dry up, and Yemen will be helped by the Russians, and Oman will be helped by the Russians, because the oil up in here does not belong to Saudi Arabia. It belongs to the people of Yemen and Oman. And when that dries up, which will be within a year or two, it's over for Saudi Arabia. Qatar's oil will not be needed. Those people who claim to be Muslims, the Wahhabi Muslims, Wahhabis claim to be Jews. The Saudis claim to be Jews. The entire Muslim world is being led by Jewish people. Wake up, folks. It's all going to get right. All we need to do is pray that this corrects itself and God will deal with it. Thank you very much, and pray for the Saudi family that they actually turn away from their master Lucifer and turn back and turn to God. They've never in the history turned to God. Thank you very much, and have a good night.